Well, you are still watching Prime Morning, and I always say, sometimes we wish what happens behind the scenes is seen on your television screens. Whenever the cameras come on, we have to comport ourselves and be like,
be all prim and proper.
I know, right? Yeah. But we eat kenke. Exedwa says she wants to eat konkonte this morning.
That's true. So, face the wall.
Face the wall. So please, if you're a very good, face the wall maker, please serve Exedo. You want it with one cat and quine?
Yes. No, I haven't taken a benquine in a long while.
Oh, yeah.
A benquine would be a better option.
Well, I guess want to eat the same thing. Well, he actually said when he eats the same food, he gets knocked out.
Yes,
he can't think. Good morning, Nii Okai.
Because you call it face the wall. So you simply go and face the wall.
How are you doing?
I'm very good. It's fun out here, on the Prime Morning.
Yes, it's fun.
Yeah,
you enjoyed the previous segments, right?
No, I was enjoying you enjoying yourself.
I really did enjoy myself. For the sake of the viewers, we did it for you.
Yeah, but I'm glad to be here. Yeah.
Before we get into what you have for viewers this week, what have you been up to generally?
A whole lot. Mokobe is 20 years, and so it's been a journey, I would say. So music, mission, church, mentorship, pastoring. I mean, a whole lot.
Okay, music, church.
Mission.
Mentorship, mission. This is packed.
And fundraising to save hearts.
Fundraising towards?
To save hearts.
To save hearts.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that like a foundation that
There's a foundation actually.
Right. What's the name of the foundation?
It's called the Nii Okai Saving Hearts Foundation.
Oh, that's nice.
So let me come in. Yesterday we were having a conversation here before, today.
Okay.
Is it still on my teeth?
Yeah, good. Yeah, good.
Okay. Well, so we're having a conversation, and I was actually telling, everybody that Nii used to be a banker. And they're like, oh my God, really? Yeah, Nii used to be a banker.
People still think I am in the bank, really, but I left the bank in 2010.
What made you leave the bank?
Hey,
the money was good.
Oh, nothing to do with the money. But all to do with purpose. I was combining banking with ministry. And it got to that point where things got to the head. You are rising in the bank, and God is opening new doors of ministry for you. And there was this burden to leave the glass house and move into the wild for what God wants me to do. A glass house is normally sheltered. It has all the, but the real tree grows well when you put it out there in the natural, ecosystem. And that's what I believe happened to me. I was thrust out there. I went to mission school to learn theology and mission. And then I got an understanding of what the next phase of my life is supposed to be, which is when I meet someone like Exedo, I should be able to make her find her purpose and fulfill that purpose.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, wasn't there anything like fear, knowing that, okay, you were comfortable doing this job, then now God is calling you to leave it and do something that is totally different from what you're used to? Were there no fears?
I won't say it was fear. It's rather the challenge of family and friends pressure.
Oh.
It wasn't fear at all. I mean, I'd learned to trust the Lord every step of the way, but it's what people would say, how they would take it, because people mean well. I remember going for a family meeting, and one senior family member said, oh, he's heard something, but I think you're too smart to make that decision, so. So that was a real challenge. I mean, explaining yourself to people, because there's no way you can explain yourself to anybody for them to understand, especially at the onset. it takes time for people to really realize what you are actually called into. And you yourself, you are finding things out. It wasn't like God says, hey, quit and go and start a church, or quit and go and do this. It's like, come away. And as I went through school, things began to be clearer as it went on. And so I've done a lot of things. That's why I answered that first question, that I've been about a lot of things.
Yeah.
So.
Let me ask you this. Of course, it's not been easy, like you said. 20 years ago, the music industry is not the same as now.
No.
How have you been able to bridge the gap? Because when we heard Mokobe was, I don't know, the tune, the sound, everything was different.
Yes.
But now we are seeing more of Afrocentric kind of gospel, which you are not really an Afrocentric kind of gospel. So how are you managing?
No, actually, Danny Nete of blessed memory and I, we're actually years ahead of our time. So we're actually doing these things, but they were not accepted then. People were not ready for them. So these guys who have pushed the limits and taken it across the world were actually with us. They were backing us. The MOGs, the Eugene Zutas, Joe Metto was backing.
They were your BVs?
Yes.
MOG and Eugene Zuta were your BVs?
Yes.
Wow.
I know I look way younger than my
Yes, you do. You do.
How do you feel when you see them on
tell you
stage?
that earlier.
No, it's exciting. I mean, and so this celebration is actually with them to celebrate what God has done in 20 years. So all of them, now Messi, Davido Sabute, you know, the list is endless.
Wow.
Denzel was with Danny, you know, Joe Metto was with Danny. Like it's been a journey.
Wow.
It's been a
So you see them
journey.
as a proud father, right?
No, it's exciting.
It's exciting.
It's exciting. I mean, last year I was just excited when MOG put that flyer. He was bringing in Donnie McClurkin. I'm like, ooh, we could only dream then.
Yeah.
But now it's possible. You know, so it's exciting.
That's great. Tell us about your event, Mokobe celebration. Mokobe at 20.
So Mokobe at 20.
I feel so young hearing that.
I know.
I'm 25, honey.
I know. So yes, this song doesn't go away. It's just fresh.
Yeah.
You know, and I have a bittersweet testimony with this song because it was my first album and it broke out. It blew all over the place, you know. And I've written great songs after, but they are always pitched against Mokobe. You know, like, well, we have another Mokobe, you know, but Mokobe is Mokobe. And I've learned to appreciate that it was the door opener to my life and purpose and ministry. And so we are going to celebrate that big door opener anytime the Lord reminds us that there's a milestone, like 10 years, 20 years, 25 years, you never know. When Mokobe was 10, that's when we started the Saving Hearts Foundation.
Okay.
To say thank you to God, we've raised funds to sponsor 10 heart surgeries, one from each region, because at that time we had 10 regions. So one needy person. So the pediatric centers had to come up with someone who was under 10 who couldn't pay for their surgery.
Oh, that's nice.
And then in 3 years, by God's grace, we had successful surgeries for all 10 of them. Yes. And the board said, Nii, you can't stop this. And so as I speak with you today, we've done 21.
God is great.
Yes. And by God's grace, now we have a bit of leverage. So we are partnering with the University of Ghana Medical Center and two of their partners who are bringing missionaries down to do the surgeries, to do 20 surgeries to tie in with Mokobe at 20.
Wow.
So as they raise funds from Amanoni, you know, to bring them here, we will raise funds to ensure that the consumables and all these other things are sorted so that the actual beneficiaries don't pay a peswa. And they get their surgeries done.
Okay. Before we get to the details of the events, you mentioned that you release great songs after Mokobe.
Oh, yeah.
But every time you release it, people go back to Mokobe.
It's actually.
Yes.
And there are people who, when they bought their CDs, their Mokobe CD, that track 3 was always on repeat. They didn't even know that there was one and I in Grand Chefo.
Oh, that's one of my favorite songs. Sing it for us, please.
Eraza, oh, Sam, Eraza, Enyam Hina, Ye trashi na 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 ze. Oh, one share na bosohin.
Oh my God, this is one of my favorites.
There's Jiwaye, Meje on the second album. People don't even know that, there was a second album, but there are 8 albums so far.
8?
Yes.
Wow. Did it actually make you question yourself sometimes? Yeah. Because I've had conversations with some colleagues of yours who always say it's very difficult to try and match up to that big song that you've made, because people are always telling you, when are you giving us that? Yeah. Did you question yourself at a point?
Oh, yes. Especially when you have well-meaning people, not just critics, but well-meaning people say that, maybe you should go on a retreat. As if to say that you've lost your anointing or something. But that is not it. God has a purpose for every generation, And when Mokobe was Mokobe, I didn't know I had a big song. It was God who did it. There were more anointed people than I guess, around that time. But God just picked this young man and placed him there. And God works in times and seasons. So in another season, though you are making great songs, now you have the money for production, he may pick another young man whose production may not be great, but the Lord has decided that this is the one, and you have to live with it and know that you are also there for a purpose, and mostly it's to actually complement each other, because you are reaching a generation, they're also reaching another generation, and when you come together, you are reaching everybody. And it takes time to come to that point of maturity. Beginning is difficult, because you have people who are rooting for you, who are trying to let you maybe change a bit and sound like the new person, but you have to be true to yourself and what God has given you, and God will see you through. 20 years, we are still doing this, and people are still being blessed. People are hearing about me for the very first time. I just came from an international conference in Nashville, and I got about 20 nationals to sing Mokobe in their language.
Wow.
And some of them were telling me that, your song is still ringing in my spirit. And I said, that song is 20 years old.
And I'm 25.
Rosalind.
That's the answer. So Mokobe at 20, Mokobe celebration concert with Nii Okai. When is it happening? Tickets? Where can we get tickets to buy?
So beautiful. It's happening in Tema, where it all began. And let me tell you this. These guys on the screen were coming. I mean, save Daninite's sons. The rest they were coming from Kaswa to rehearsal every Friday evening. It was like Tema was that citadel. They had to come and sit with us and rehearse with us and all. Kwesi Otin used to sit at our rehearsals. And then the next moment, he has started a whole new urban move. And I said something yesterday on another station that when we sang Mokobe in Tema, there was no Sarkodie. There was no stone boy. They were small boys probably playing football, But today, Tema is noted for great music and stuff like that. So everybody's coming to Tema next week. Sunday. Don't be too scared about the motorway. We used it.
We'll come. We'll be there.
And it's at 4:30, gates open at the ICGC Zoe Temple.
Okay.
Because of the Saving Hearts Foundation, you will need to contribute. No, it's this Sunday. I keep saying next Sunday. It's the coming Sunday.
This Sunday,
So we will contribute 70 Ghana CD for regular, 120 for double, or my special one, the VIP Heart Saver ticket is 200. Just join us, do this. And there's a short code, *887 *273 hash. *887 *273 hash. It will just open a portal for you to choose whichever one you want to do. Or go to my website also and just click the buy button. And whether you are in Seychelles or America or wherever, you can also be part of the concert from the comfort of your home. Give us a small donation of $5, 25 Ghana cedi if you can do Momo and stuff like that. And be a part of this grand celebration. For me, the Saving Hearts is great, but those I'm having this concert with, gives me more joy. MOG has been touring since 2 or 3 months ago, but he's dropping down for
Fantastic.
it. Joe Mettle just finished his concert in UK.
London. He's coming.
Dropping down for it.
We will be there Sunday. It is. Thank you so much for being here. We'll be there to support you. And thank you so much for watching Prime Morning. I'm enjoying Edward's warmth this morning. My name is Rosemary Felly. When she goes to eat her banku, you know I'll eat some. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.